everyone. Welcome to Art Flow for December. A few days ago I took a walk on an early morning and I found a branch of holly that had been knocked down by the rain. I decided to take it back to my studio and put it in a vase to keep it fresh. A few days later I had the idea to paint one of the holly boughs and make a Christmas card, and I thought I would show you guys today how I'm going to do that. I think it's a beautiful idea to make your own Christmas cards for people. There's something memorable about a handmade card that's different from a card bought in a store. Not that store-bought cards aren't beautiful, but something you make with your own hands has something just a little extra special about it. So I've chosen a little holly twig that has a few berries and a few leaves. I don't want it to be too complicated or too involved, just something simple and pretty that will look nice on the front of a Christmas card. So I'm going to start off by sketching the holly lightly in pencil. You can see I've already got my other supplies set up. I have my watercolor tray, I have my brushes and my pencil and eraser, and I have my watercolor paper mounted to a clipboard with masking tape. That will help keep it flat while the paint is on it, because wet paint sometimes warps the paper and makes it sort of bubble and ripple. If you tape your paper down with masking tape, you should be able to pull up the tape without ripping your paper. Okay, let's take a closer look at what I'm doing. So I'm starting off the sketch with very, very light lines. I always want to keep things light when I start drawing because that makes it easier to erase any mistakes. I'm starting with the big shapes first, so the leaves, the berries, the curve of the twig. I'm not drawing any details right away. You can see for the leaves I'm sketching in a few of the veins just to get the shapes down in the paper. But again, I'm not making anything too dark right now. If you want to try something like this for your Christmas card, I recommend finding your own little branch of holly if you can. Things always look more realistic if we draw from some kind of reference, like a photograph or something that's right in front of you. That's because in nature there are all kinds of little imperfections and irregularities, and those are what make things look real. For example, this holly twig has a bend in the end of it. It also has some little bumps along the sides. The leaves have slightly different shapes and different colors in them, and you'll be able to see that as I start painting. Now, if you have a lot of people that you want to send Christmas cards to, but you don't have time to paint an individual card, what I would suggest doing is make a painting and then either scan it into a computer or ask someone to help you take a photo of it. Once the image is in your computer, you should be able to use one of the really simple image editing programs that came with your computer to print it out. And that way you can make a lot of cards very easily, but they'll still be featuring some of your art, and that will help make them special to the people who receive them. I was really excited about painting these berries. There's something about red paint that I really like because it's so vivid and bright, and it automatically makes things look more cheerful. Now, when you're painting leaves, especially holly leaves, keep in mind that light reflects off of them differently. Leaves are three-dimensional. They usually have a dark side, and they usually have a light side. And sometimes, if the light is hitting them the right way, you can see the little veins in the leaves. Now, holly leaves are especially shiny because they have this almost waxy surface to them. And later on, as I paint, I'm going to go back and try to bring out some of that waxy shine with just a little bit of white ink. You'll also notice that I'm using a lot of different kinds of green to paint the leaves. I have some bluer greens that I'm using in the darker areas, and then I have some yellower greens that I'm using in the lighter areas. Even if you don't have a lot of different kinds of greens ready to go on your paint palette, you can always mix green with other colors like blue or yellow to make different shades of green. By painting with different shades of one color, like if you're painting grass, use different greens. If you're painting these red berries, I'm going to use slightly different reds for the lights and the darks. There are lots of colors in nature. Things aren't just one flat green. There are lots of different greens, or the sky is lots of different blues. If you start thinking of things in terms of what is the basic color, like, okay, the sky is blue, but then what are all the other color changes inside that blue? Do the blues get more purple or more pink? That will help you start painting things that look a lot more realistic. You can see that I'm going in with a little bit of white ink to brighten up the leaves and add that sort of reflectiveness that I can see in the leaves in real life. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of shine to the berries because holly berries also reflect light just a little bit like the leaves. I'm almost done. This is a very simple card design that you can do too. If you don't want to try holly, you could try maybe a Christmas ornament or a Santa figurine or a candle. If you're up for the challenge, try it. And so here is my Christmas card design. I'm just going to write Merry Christmas on the side. And I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas this year. And if you make your own Christmas card, please let me know in the comments and post a photo so I can see. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the new year.